Hey guys, it's your girl Leslie, and welcome to my channel.
It's not fair, 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 not fair.
So hey guys, I'm sorry you aren't able to see me right now. I kind of planned on going to school today, but my mom didn't really feel the best, and she was the only one who could drive me to school. So I told her just to lay down, chill and all that. So now I'm here, woken up like at 9:54 currently a.m. Just chilling. I haven't slept yet, but I just decided to read Ben Drowned since I haven't read it in like about 1 or 2 weeks or more. I'm not sure. I do hope you guys have been enjoying my spooky season books I've been reading. I will continue the story of the Yandere Slasher's Ex-Reader because I personally love that story. And even after spooky season, I'll still keep reading it because why not? And if you guys are dressing up for Halloween, let me know what you guys are going to dress up as in the comments down below. Because I tell you, I'm going to post. I'm not going to make a video about what I'm going to dress, but I will post about it on YouTube because you can post videos and certain things now. And I'm like, yes, period. So, yeah, I'm gonna be posting about it because I already got like the whole costume like figured out. I mostly handmade most of it myself. And I did make videos about it on TikTok way earlier. Like, it's pretty damn crazy. Get straight into reading. Okay. Chapter 6. Ben had decided to leave you alone for the rest of the day after your mother had returned home. The constant dread of Ben lurking was taking a toll of your mind. You put the cell phone on the floor in the corner of your room, on the opposite side from your bed. You wanted Ben as far away from you as possible. You drifted off into a restless sleep, not wanting to go to school completely exhausted. Ben's energy hovered about your room, watching you toss and turn in your sleep. Ben had dug himself into a small hole. Of course, freedom was his true goal, but sacrificing his ability to torture you until you broke? That was more than displeasing to him. Even if he had to admit, however, that your willpower and your tendency were admirable. Dislocating your own wrist just to get away from him wasn't something he had anticipated. But something about it bothered him. He couldn't quite put his finger on it. However, he didn't dwell on it. Instead, he watched you sleep. Wait, what? You look so vulnerable. So helpless, even. But Ben knew that when you woke, it was a completely different story. The next day. YN? Sweetie, your alarm didn't go off. You're late for school. You could hear your mom call from upstairs. Excuse me. Slowly sliding out of your bed, rubbing your eyes. The eerie presence in your room still giving you goosebumps. You quickly showered, dressed in a simple black t-shirt and jeans, grabbed the phone off the floor, and headed downstairs to the kitchen. Wait, you didn't charge it? Damn, that must be either one out of battery or two full. Or whatever. Depends how much you use it, whatever. You quickly grabbed a bottle of water and a piece of fruit and put them into your backpack, heading out to the door. Oh my god, why am I saying this wrong? Heading out of the door? You could feel your phone vibrating in your back pocket. You pulled it out and looked at the lit screen. Good morning. You didn't sleep too well. You sighed. Of course he watched you sleep. When you finally reached the school building, and the doors were already closed, you entered through the main office, filled out a tardy slip, and headed towards your third class. Tech Ed. Great. Just great. Ben didn't spare you like he hoped you would. In the middle of the lessons, he made all the computers glitch. Just when you thought he was done, he made your computer play rap music at full volume. The entire class burst out laughing, thinking that you had done it purposely to piss off the teacher and entertain them, earning you a seat with the cool kids at lunch. A message from Ben ordered you to put one earbud connected to your phone so they could speak with you directly at lunch. Lucky you. You get a seat with the cool kids. The fuck? I'm pretty sure this isn't the 90s no more, man. But okay. Okay, sir. Look at you, Ben teased. Get a seat with the cool kids. I'm on the dead. Kind of reminds me of that certain song with like the cool kids, like the cool kids. Okay. You just rolled your eyes and kept polite conversation with the other kids at your table. You didn't know whether to thank them or tell them to shut up. The reason you were was because of him. Hey, YN, I was thinking of you. I was thinking of inviting you to my party tonight. You down? A guy Mark asked you. He had curly brown hair and friendly green eyes. He was a boy you had crushed on since 5th grade. After he helped you hide during hide and seek at recess. Okay, that's a long ass crush. God damn. Sure, that sounds great. You smiled at him warmly. Alright, here's my number. He handed you a piece of paper. The party is at 7, my place. I'm pretty sure you know where it is. We live in the same neighborhood. Text me when you get there. It's gonna get a little crowded. He smiled sheepishly. You thanked him and ran home with a gleam in your eyes. Despite Ben's teasing, after telling your mother about the invitation, she allowed you to go. You quickly ran upstairs to the bedroom and opened your closet door. What to wear? You weren't really usually invited to parties, being a loner, so dressing up wasn't something you were used to. But having I don't even know how to say that, mother had its benefits. Oh, shopaholic, sorry. A shopaholic mother had its benefits. That's my mom, that's me, actually. You placed the whole phone inside your bedroom door and picked out a dress to wear. It was a black strapless mini dress that flared when you twirled. With it, you added a pair of each ankle black boots, earrings, and a bracelet. You applied a little liner and combed your hair neatly. Oh my goodness, girl. If you saw, oh my gosh. She just did one of those cool makeup looks that I've seen on TikTok. Oh my gosh. She would look goddessly gorgeous. Alright? So I'm like, mwah. Okay. You looked in the mirror, not recognizing the girl in the reflection. You have never looked this pretty since, well, never. You stepped outside your room and picked up your phone, heading downstairs to show your outfit to your mother. When she saw you, she nearly cried. Oh my goodness, you look like a princess. Now hurry. You don't want to be late. Like, for real? You looked down at your phone. Yikes. It was already 6:57. You saw a message appear on your phone. You look pretty. You knew who it was from, but you brushed it off as an empty flattery. There you go. Heading out to the door. Why do I say to the door? It's the door. Heading out the door, you quickly headed up the street. It was immediately obvious which house it was due to the blaring music and dozens of cars parked outside. You took a deep breath and headed inside. Another message appeared on your phone. I'll be nice just this once and let you have your fun. My treat. Lucky me, you muttered. You glared at the phone, hoping Ben could see your face. How considerate of him. As soon as you entered the party, you were overwhelmed by the amount of people surrounding you, dancing, joking around, making out, drinking, and etc. You couldn't spot Mark anywhere. You typed a message to him and sent it. I made it. A few minutes passed before you got a response. Great! Where are you? At the entrance. On my way. You felt pretty lucky that Mark was going out of his way for you. Maybe you two did have a chance together. As long as Ben didn't screw things up, which he probably would. After a few moments, you caught a sight of Mark, who waved and ran at you. Over to you. My English, I'm sorry today, y'all. Anyways, I'm glad you can make... Wow. You look amazing. He seemed taken back by your transformation. Transformers. We got Transformers up in this bitch. You blushed and swayed shyly. Thanks. Mark took you by the hand and led you through the rowdy teens crowding the house. He introduced you to a bunch of people you didn't know, and he never left your side. He had brought you a drink. He had brought you a drink, and you joked around. Oh, hey, want to see my room? I have a bunch of old-fashioned video games and stuff. You into that kind of stuff, right? He asked. At that moment, you felt your phone vibrate. You quickly apologized and looked at the screen. Don't you dare. He just wants to sleep with you. You wanted to chuck that phone across the room. How dare he ruin your time with Mark? You took a huge risk and held down the power button, shutting off your phone. Sure, I'd love to see your room. Lead the way, you said, following Mark up a flight of stairs. He opened the door, and true to his word, there was an old Super Nintendo console in front of a large flat-screen TV. You grinned and sat down on one of the bean bags on the floor. Max turned on the game and helped you learn the controls. The little graphics in the game must have been messing with your head because you felt a little lightheaded. Hey, Mark, this game is making me feel a little dizzy. Mark didn't seem to hear you. He stood and went to the other part of the room. Oh, you'll be fine, don't worry. You didn't realize what was happening until you turned and saw Mark locking the door. Oh. Wait, what does that mean? Hold up. What does that mean? Okay, well, we're reading past chapter 7 because I'm fucking confused. I'm fucking confusion. Chapter 7.
Someone wrote this song before, and I could tell you where it's from.
You slowly stood up, eyeing Mark suspiciously. Why did you lock the door? You chuckled nervously. Mark just shrugged and gave you a strange look. We wouldn't want anyone interrupting us. He sauntered closer, forcing you to back up against the wall. What are you doing? You asked, fear and vent in your voice. I've wanted you for a long time, Wyan. And I always get what I want. Realization hit you like a brick to the temple. Ben was right. Mark didn't care about you. Sorry, but I'm leaving. You tried to maneuver around him, but Mark placed an arm on both of your shoulders, blocking your escape. Mark, stop. Let me go. You growled, kneeing him in the groin. That's kind of funny. Mark groaned in pain, and you took the opportunity to run straight for the door, pulling it and hitting it. Somebody help me! Somebody open the door! I can't yell. Sorry, my mom's sleeping. Anyway. You wiggled the door handle and pounded on the door until your hand stung. It was no use. The music was too loud for anybody to hear. They would already assume someone was banging upstairs anyway. You turned and saw your phone on the floor a few feet away and tried to reach for it, but Mark was quicker and kicked it out of sight. Your lightheadedness began to worsen and you stumbled. Mark managed to grab a hold of you by your wrist and pulled you to him. You let out a scream and tried to bite and scratch him, but Mark had an upper hand. After all, he was much more stronger than you. Don't worry, Wyatt, he said. In a few moments, you won't be able to protest. You felt your heart sink. True to his words, you feel a numbing sensation in your body. You bastard. Did you drug me? After a few seconds, you were completely limp, unable to move on your own. You lay there helplessly as Mark carried you over to his bed. You screamed in your mind, hoping someone would come to the door and save you. But your parents were at home. Alex was nowhere, Ben could care less, and everyone else was drunk or high as a kite. Just my luck. Your luck was just perfect. But before Mark could crawl on top of you, a green, eerie glow filled the room, causing him to pause and look around, confused. The hell is this? He asked. Suddenly, his skin turned a deadly pale. His eyes became bloodshot. He fell over, grasping at his throat, eyes wide. It was a horrifying sight. His veins bulged and his ears began to bleed. His eyes rolled back. Then he stopped moving completely, and you allowed yourself to faint. Excuse me? Wyan, can you hear me? You awoke to a familiar voice. You sat up quickly, then immediately regretted it when you felt a strong, throbbing pain in your head. You were back in your bedroom, still wearing the dress from the party. Take it easy. You were drugged up pretty bad. You looked up and spotted Ben sitting at the edge of your bed. His eyes, his eyes, oh my gosh, his eyebrows. Leslie, what's going on here? His eyebrows were furrowed, and his piercing red eyes watched you intensely. Your memory was fuzzy, but you remember being alone with Mark, in a strange green light. What happened to me? He frowned at you, folding his arms. You were stupid. That's what happened. Did you come to save me? You asked, massaging your temple. Of course I did. He glared at you. How? Ben laughed then. Did you actually think turning off your phone was enough to stop me? I got inside your little boyfriend's phone when you texted him. You'd better be glad I did. You winced at your headache and squinted at him. Why? His smug look quickly faded. Why what? Why would you do it? Save me, I mean. I thought you hated me. You looked down at your hands. They are a bit shaky. Ben sighed and turned his body away from you slightly. I tolerate many evil things, but rape is not one of them. And trust me, if I hated you, you'd be long dead, like your little friend Mark is. You scowled at the friend bit. I see. You were stupid. I told you not to go with him. I thought you were smarter than that. There are like at least 100 movies that explains why an open drink and going into a boys' room during a party is a bad idea. He pressed his temple and shook his head. Like, seriously, how stupid can you get? You sighed. Thank you for saving me. Ben seemed a bit shocked that you were thanking him. He looked away from you and shrugged. Yeah, it's whatever. Your parents know about what happened to Mark, but they think he died of a heart attack when you came home on your own. Was that you? Yeah, I killed him, dragged your sleepy ass home. Worse than chores on a Saturday. I figured. You said quietly. Can I ask you something? What? How did this begin? I mean, were you always this way? All electronic and ghostly and stuff? Ben frowned. Why do you ask? Because I don't want to hate you anymore. You seemed to have enough heart to save me. I just want to know about you. Your past, I mean. Ben sat there quietly, thinking to himself. Then he turned to you and nodded. Fine, whatever. I'll show you. With that, beams of green and red light swirled and jumped around the both of you. It was so... I don't even know how to say that. Is that even a word? And trippy, you almost fainted. You could feel a tingling sensation on your body, and your room began to fade. When you opened your eyes, you were in a neighborhood you recognized in another part of town. Ben appeared next to you and began walking towards a house a few yards away. There was a single light coming from the top window, and you blinked the moment you were inside. Oh, excuse me. In a blinking moment, you were inside. It was a child's room. There were video game posters, along with a TV with a small bed and a dresser. The door to the bedroom opened, and a young boy about 16 walked in. He had blonde hair and blue eyes, similar to Ben's. He didn't seem to notice you were there, as he sat down in front of the Nintendo 64 and turned it on. He took a cartridge out of his back pocket and plugged it in. The title screen for a familiar video game appeared on the screen. The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. The boy lit up as he played the video game. You turned to Ben. Is this you? Ben simply nodded, keeping a fixed gaze, as if it was in a trance. You heard something hit the window. Ben stood and went to the window, opening it. You and Ben walked over and peered down. Standing in the yard were two boys. They looked about the same age as Ben. Hey, Ben, the taller one called. We're gonna go skip rocks at the lake. Wanna come? Ben nodded and closed the window. He turned off the game and put the cartridge back in his back pocket, grabbing a green jacket, and he ran downstairs. You were about to follow, but Ben touched your shoulder. The same green and red lights came again, and the vision of Ben's room faded. It was replaced by a small lake. You could see Ben's and the other two boys approaching from a distance. After they stopped at the lake, the taller boy turned to Ben. "Okay, let's go for a swim." Ben looked a little stunned. But what? Come on, don't be lame. The water is perfect. He reached over and picked Ben up, placing him on his shoulder. Ben let out a distressed yelp and tried to get down, but the boy ran into the deep water up to his neck. The smaller boy, still on the shore, was watching happily, not seeming to notice how nervous Ben actually was. In one swift movement, the boy leaned forward and dunked Ben into the water. The boy struggled and gasped, cleaving onto the taller boy's arm. The boy took a hold of Ben's head and forced it under the water. You could see Ben thrashing and trying to get air. The two boys just laughed. "Come on, Ben, you can hold your breath longer than that." You looked over at Ben in horror, but he just closed his eyes and turned away. You looked back at the two boys in the water. That's when you noticed. Ben stopped moving. "There you go, man. You just gotta relax and hold your breath. You're already at 30. Jeremy?" the taller boy called. Something's not right. The taller boy, Jeremy, looked down at the boy under, still held underwater. Jeremy pulled him up and examined his face. He was pale and unmoving. His wet golden hair clung to his face as he remained still. "Holy shit, I think he's dead," Jeremy said quietly. He shook Ben's shoulders. No response. "Oh my God. Somebody help him," you whispered under your breath. Ben turned to you. You started to run towards the boys like, "Oh my God, let me help you." Girl, I think this is just an imagination. Like, I'm thinking we'll help him, or we're not going back in time. They started to run towards the boys. Jeremy dragged Ben down to land, but didn't seem to know CPR. "Look, man, let's just get out of here. I'm not trying to go to jail," the small boy whispered. Jeremy nodded and stood, following the boy as they ran from the lake, out of sight. You were disgusted. How dare they leave him like this? How dare they? You fell to your knees and looked beside Ben's body. He looked so peaceful. I'm like, "Oh my God, you went through this?" It's like, excuse me. I'm making this weird. Okay, anyway. Tears began to prick your eyes as you made hesitated movements to reach down, to touch him, but your face ghosted through his body like smoke. Then you remembered. This was just a vision of the past. I just said this. This had already happened. You stood slowly, wiping your tears from your eyes. He was so innocent. He was just a kid. He didn't deserve to die. You walked back over to Ben, who watched you with an unreadable expression. Suddenly, an old man came through the clearing. He walked with a slight limp and had one eye that glazed over. He noticed the boy and picked him up, walking away with it. Ben mentioned you over for you to follow him, and you did. And you eventually ended up in an old house at the edge of your neighborhood. The old man carried Ben's body inside, placing it on a sofa and dialing a number on his house phone. "Hello? Yes, I found a young boy near the lake. I don't think he's alive. Please send help." The old man walked over to Ben and brushed wet hair out of his face. He leaned forward and staring at something in Ben's pocket. A green light began to flow faintly. "What's that?" Ben turned to you. "Me?" The old man reached down and pulled the Majora's Mask cartridge from Ben's pocket, examining it. The green eerie glow seemed to speak to the man as he put it in his own pocket. When the police and paramedics arrived, they announced that Ben had died by drowning. Your bottom lip quivered at the dreadful words. His parents arrived a few minutes later. His mother screamed and cried, and his father stood there in relief, aggressively running his fingers through his hair, as if he was seeing wasn't real. It was too much for you to watch. Your eyes welled up with tears and your shoulders shook. You began to sobbing quietly, covering your ears to mask the sounds of his mother's desperate cries. A sniffle from you grabbed Ben's attention as he noticed you were crying. He sighed and placed a hand on your shoulder. Once again, you saw green and red, and the vision of Ben's death faded. It was replaced by warm spring air and bright sunlight. You were outside the old man's house. His garage was open, and there was tables with items on them. Some of the items were odd-looking. A car pulled up to the garage sale, and a young man stepped out. Immediately, you recognized him. Alex. You walked over to him and stared. He looked so much more happy and healthy than the last time you have seen him. He had his Avatar sunglasses propped up on his head and was chewing gum. He walked over to the table and the old man greeted him. You could tell that the old man made Alex uncomfortable. "Well then, what are you looking for, young man?" the old man said, motioning to the table in front of him. Do you have any old video games?" Alex responded. The old man's eyes lit up. "Actually, I have a few in an old box. I'll be back in a jiffy." The old man turned and disappeared inside the garage. Alex waited patiently, and you silently wished that he could see you. He began looking through the items on the table, stopping when he saw an old ink-blocked paper that held a striking resemblance to Medora's mask. When he looked up at the old man was there again, he jumped back a bit, startled. The old man handed him the cartridge Ben had owned. A gray cartridge with Medora's mask written in the back with permanent marker. How much do you want it for?" How much do you want for it?" Alex asked. The old man just shook his head. "It's yours, for free. It used to belong to a boy about your age, but he doesn't live here anymore." The way the old man phrased it seemed to put both you and your brother off. "Thanks," Alex said before turning to head back to his car. Before he got inside, the old man smiled and said, "Have fun. Goodbye, Ben." Suddenly, you were back in your bedroom. You looked over at Ben. "So, now you know," he said. "I'm sorry. I had no idea," you whispered. "There's nothing that you could have done. By the time your brother received the cartridge, I was angry, vengeful. I wanted to see people suffer without no one to save them. Just like I did," Ben said sadly. You looked down at your hands, then back at him. "I wish I could have saved you." He froze and glanced at you, eyes wide and in shock. He now looked so much like the boy you had seen in the visions, so lost and so innocent. And you wanted nothing more than to hold him. Alright, y'all, so we read 2 chapters, and I was kind of getting confused. I was like, okay, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right. So I just wanted to continue reading the story until I was like, just like, wait, hold up. Now I understand. We good now. Plus, we're like about maybe 30-ish minutes right now. And I'm like, damn. Like, I did, like, let's not even talk about the video that was a literal fucking hour long that I did one time or a couple times. I don't regret those, but those are insanely long to edit. Like, insanely. Surprised I actually read for an hour. It's crazy. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more amazing videos, guys. Also, before I forget, this is what I got for from 2 certain locations that is in Oklahoma, like Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you live there. If you want to know the location where I got these items from, just comment down below. You can also DM me on TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, and other places to find out the location. You just gotta be communicative, people. Just, if you want to know the locations. And also, I want to show you some extra stuff. So, yeah, so, But let's just get straight into it. So hey, you guys, I actually got some stuff from a certain store. If you want the link, just DM me. There, I got like 3 things, and I wanted to show you guys, cause why the fuck not? So first things first, I found, like, this is the first thing I found, but I absolutely love this. Keep this in mind. It's BHMA, but no spoilers, of course. This is what the cup looks like. This is the song. Like, look how cute that is. Like, oh, I love this so much. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. It's just so cute, and just like, why not? It's cute. It's Hello Kitty. It's literally Hello Kitty. Why the fuck wouldn't I want it? The fuck. Second thing I got is this. This is like, I didn't expect to find this, but this is L from Death Note. I've watched Death Note before, but not like too much of it. Don't know why. I stopped watching it because I used to watch it whenever I was over at my dad's house in Texas. But I don't know, I just stopped watching it, and I was like, oh well, damn, bro, disappointed. So I'm just gonna hook this to my purse, and if you see me, say hi to L. Then the third and final thing I got was a toilet-bound Hanako-kun manga book. I have never read a manga before. I actually got 10, because it was like one of those chapters, because I watched the anime, but I couldn't watch it anymore because I watched it from a friend, and they are now very far away, and I'm not able to watch it. If you have any suggestions how the fuck to watch it again, please let me know, because I really want to watch this anime again. It's so good. Like, I love it. Like, I love it. And plus it has the voice actor, it involves the voice actor of Azuka Midoriya. And, just look at this, people. Look at that anime watching right now, bro. Bro, just, there's, I love, you can draw, bro. What the hell? I can't have a table like this. Look. Bro. Oh my gosh. Look at it. Oh my god.